Please remain standing. At this time, I will direct everyone's attention to the flag behind me at the front of the altar. We ask you all to join together as we salute our nation with the playing of the national anthem. Please note that while typically we remove our head coverings with respect to the anthem, if it is academic regalia, we ask you to leave it on. Please be seated, everyone. Greetings. Welcome to the 171st commencement exercise of the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science. My name is Dr. Barry Lease. I am the president and CEO of the Institute. It is my distinct honor to serve as the presiding officer for this commencement exercise, which includes students from both our campus and online program. It is really a sincere privilege to welcome you all for this special event. It's especially a privilege to recognize and acknowledge our alumni, those who've walked this journey and are out practicing with their servants' hearts, serving families and taking care of their decedent loved ones. We appreciate that. That's what makes this profession so great, that we are there to help. A notable event for the 171st commencement exercise, as you will notice, is that for the first time ever, we are live streaming the event via our PIMS TikTok page. So if there's some folks that couldn't be here, they'll be able to join in and watch your graduation ceremony as we speak right now. In fact, I'd like to recognize someone who really made this all possible and thank her for her hard work, not just with our TikTok and getting the PIMS message out via social media, but for doing this today. Ms. Chelsea Cush, would you please stand and let's give everyone a... We hope this is the first of many ceremonies that we can continue to do this and use this new medium. More on that later. Graduates, back to you for a moment. As I said to you in the first day of orientation, you may remember, I just said it the other day, we had an orientation. Thank you. Thank you for choosing Pittsburgh Institute for your funeral service education. We now welcome you to the over 8,000 alumni, and we are sure you will make us proud. In fact, While we thank you for choosing PIMS, we also want you now to take a moment to thank some very special people that have been part of this journey for you. First and foremost, graduates, I would like to ask all of your family and friends who are gathered behind you with the support and love they've shared to you, would you please stand? Let our graduates thank you with a round of applause. Family and friends, please stand up. They owe you one. Without that support system, you wouldn't be here. So we thank you. Next, I want to mention some people who significantly may have contributed on the front lines of your education, and that, of course, would be the PIMS faculty, staff, fellow administrators. I truly am honored to work with these folks every day. Their sole focus is your success. They truly believe our mantra that we are not in the business of education, we are in the business of dream fulfillment, and today is that day. So faculty, administration, staff, please stand. Graduates, recognize them for all of their hard work. While the faculty, staff, and administration were a big part of your journey, there's a group of unseen people that you don't probably know too much about. You might see their names in the bulletin or the graduation program today. But they are a group of folks that help us provide you with the strategic resources that we need to make this an education that is second to none. And they are, of course, our board of directors. And a few of them are here, and I'd like them to be recognized if they would be so kind enough. We have Mr. Eugene Ogrotnik, please stand when you're called. Mr. Kevin Dieterle, Mr. Patrick Lanigan is here too. I saw him on the way in. And our newest board member, and hopefully somebody that you young folks will take a look at and say, hey, that could be me someday, Ms. Andrea Egbert. Andrea, would you please stand? And let's recognize these folks. Thank you. Finally, I'm also privileged to welcome our consortium partners, as always. Today, for those of you who aren't aware, we have several consortiums with Youngstown State, Point Park University, Gannon, Teal, and Penn West. So today we are joined by Dr. Mark Marnich from Point Park University. Dr. Marnich, if you'd stand and be recognized, he will be dispensing those degrees that you Point Park students earned today. Last but not least, our Dean Emeritus, Dr. Joseph A. Marcellia, Jr. There he is, sitting over there with the dignitaries. Graduates, now, if you'd permit me about an hour or so. No, just kidding. I know it's September. It's the January one. We'll go an hour, but a little warm here. Just a few minutes to offer a brief few remarks. This is obviously an auspicious day for you. It represents change. Change. And change is kind of a word that morphs its way throughout our lives. It gives us subtle, sometimes hit you over the head subtext. Change is something that no matter what else happens in your life, in your career, in your journey through funeral service, change is going to happen. It's the one constant. In fact, there's a famous pop star, some of you may know him, probably nobody in this front few rows. His name was David Bowie. He's now deceased. Maybe you do know him. He wrote a song called Changes. In it, the lyric reads, "Time may change me, but I I can't trace time. I cannot be certain of Mr. Bowie's intent in writing that lyric, but I would like to contextualize it today at this ceremony. As you move forward from your formal education to your entry into the funeral service profession. Throughout your career, you will be subject to the whims of a constant, uncontrollable, and sometimes unforgiving force in your lives. Think about the unpredictability of death care. It is not on a clock. When someone calls, you respond. They deserve nothing else, they being the bereaved families and the decedents. Each time you answer the call, you will be expected to show dignity, compassion, empathy, and kindness to all of those that will enter your care. And while all of those characteristics, I think, could be considered hallmarks of our noble profession, we will have to continually navigate Father Time. It's not going to stop. We will have to evolve to move forward in your career and in your lives. Let me give you an example from my career, just for a moment, and many others who have walked this journey through the PIMS Institute. Back in the 1980s, those of us who were around then practicing funeral service, there was this word we heard, cremation. That was at a time when we had 95% traditional funeral and burial, and we were like, oh, that'll go away. That'll go away someday, don't worry about it. Only people without money, they get cremated. Gee, that didn't age so well, did it? What's the cremation rate now, class? Somewhere around 60% nationally, and only going up, right? So I think we make the case that change will happen to you. Another, perhaps more relevant example, certainly a more current one, is what I mentioned earlier. I told you I was going to get back to it. Social media and technology. They will have an influence on you. They may not have an influence on me anymore. They may not have an influence on the 75-year-old that you're working for, but they will have an influence on you. Just as much as the dignity that you need to bring to each and every family you serve. So, graduates, I'd like to conclude my opening remarks, to give you some advice to maybe navigate this minefield of change. Keep this in mind. The intense, selfless nature of funeral service will intertwine your professional and personal lives every day. There will be days you may even question your choice of the vocation that you're entering. But it is on those days, dig down, find another gear. It is on those days, look inward at that servant's heart that brought you to this moment. It is on those days, I want you to remember, I'll say it one more time. If we at PIMS didn't ask you to be great, you will only be good. And for the bereaved families you will serve and their decedent loved ones you will care for, good isn't good enough. Graduates of the 171st Commencement exercises, go forth, make us proud. This concludes my opening remarks. Thank you. I fixed it, Chelsea. At this time, I would like to introduce our newest faculty member and Decedent Care Center coordinator, Miss Caitlin Schooley, who just a few years ago sat in this same hot church. I think it was just as warm, the same day. Caitlin joins our PIMS team, bringing her passion and her servant's heart. And I want to tell you a little, very quick story about Caitlin the day she graduated and literally almost won every award that we offered. I looked at Dean Burns on the way out and I said, Caitlin's going to be on my team someday. So we welcome Caitlin, and she's going to provide you hopefully with a few inspirational words before she introduces our keynote speaker. but also see her as that living example that could be any one of you. The only people stopping you are you. Bring your servant's heart. Be great. Good isn't good enough. And just like Caitlin, who knows, maybe you'll be affecting the future of funeral service through all of you. Miss Scully, please come up.
Thank you, Dr. Lease. Like you said, my name is Caitlin Scully, and it is an honor to introduce our keynote speaker today. But first, I have a few short words for our graduates. Graduates, I wanted to take a moment to congratulate you on this incredible achievement. As you step into this profession, remember that your role extends far beyond technical expertise. You will be the source of comfort, guidance, and dignity for families at some of their most difficult times, while also providing their loved ones with the utmost care, integrity, and respect. This is both a privilege and a great responsibility to hold. You will be faced with challenges, but always remember that you have the tools and knowledge to persevere. We are so proud of you, and we are excited to see the impact that you will make on your communities. This is just the beginning of a lifelong journey of service, leadership, and learning. Congratulations, Class 171. And now, it is my privilege to introduce our keynote speaker for the 171st Commencement ceremony. She is a licensed funeral director, a social media influencer, and a respected voice in our profession. Today, she will be sharing her keynote address, Influencing Death, Integrity After Last Breath. Please join me in welcoming Lauren the Mortician.
Wow, this is really high up here. I feel like Rapunzel. Hi, I'm Lauren, and yes, I am your keynote speaker today. When Dr. Lease called me and asked me to speak today, I honestly thought he had the wrong number at first. Or maybe he was trying to reach someone far more qualified to give you all a motivational speech. I mean, he probably tried to call Taylor Swift first, but she was probably busy planning a wedding or something, I don't know. So I was happy to step in. So do I have any experience speaking in front of a group like this? No, not even a little bit. Normally, I'm in the background at the funeral service, sipping coffee with my funeral helper, listening to the retired pastor we always call because he's the best there is. Or, side note, he's really the only one who always tells me yes, even though he tells the same stories and puts on the same jokes in every sermon. I've heard them 100 times, and I still smile. Meanwhile, I'm usually just trying to keep my funeral helper awake with another cup of coffee, sneak in a lemon bar from the kitchen ladies while we wait for the last song before it's finally our turn to go up front. That's usually my role, behind the scenes, keeping things moving, making sure everything is in place so families don't have to worry about anything. And honestly, I'm really comfortable there. That's where most of us in this profession live. In the background, unseen, but holding everything together. And yet somehow I was told I'd be a really good person to give you a motivational speech. So today I am not in the background, I'm here, standing in front of you because I know what you're about to step into. I know about the sacrifices you'll make that no one will ever see. I know about the quiet influence you'll carry into families' lives. And I know that on the hardest days, it all comes down to remembering your why. The work is hard, it's heavy, and it matters more than people will ever realize. What you've chosen is rare. Out of the millions of people in the world, only a very small percentage will ever step into funeral service. Most people spend their whole lives avoiding death, pretending it only happens to other people. But not you. You chose this, or maybe in some strange way, it chose you. Either way, you are part of a profession that less than a fraction of the population will ever be brave enough to do, and that makes you extraordinary. It also makes you responsible, because you've stepped into something sacred that most people can't or won't touch. And that's why your integrity matters so much, because it's only a few of us who are willing to do this work. Then we have to do it really well, and we have to do it right. It also makes you something else. And I kind of hate to use this word, but it makes you influencers. Not in the Instagram or TikTok sense, not in the chasing likes or views sense, but in the truest sense of the word. Because everything you do in this profession influences how families heal, how they remember their loved ones, and how they carry that grief for the rest of their lives. So yes, technically, you are influencers. And that's not a bad thing. It just means your platform isn't a phone screen. It's the families who walk through the front doors. And your content isn't curated posts. It's the way you treat people when no one else is watching. Because families will remember your words, your compassion, the way you looked at them when they were broken. They'll remember how you treated their loved ones, even though they never saw what happened behind those closed doors. That influence stays. It stays long after the flowers wilt, long after the final page of the guest book is closed, long after the lights at the funeral home are turned off, long after the phone calls and the casseroles stop coming. That influence, the way you made them feel, is what families carry with them for the rest of their lives. Because here's the thing, even though this work matters so deeply, it's also one of the most underappreciated professions in the world. Most people will never truly understand what you do in funeral service. And honestly, it's one of those things we don't talk enough about. They don't see the long hours, the midnight death calls, the emotional toll it takes on you. They don't see the hours of restorative work. They don't see the multi-step embalming process. They'll never see the beginning to the end. And they may never say thank you. They also don't see the birthday parties you miss with your own families, the holidays you cut short, the dinners that get cold on the table because the phone rang and you had to leave. They don't see the family milestones you give up so that another family can have theirs. And the truth is, they'll never fully appreciate it because they're not the ones living it. This job is the ultimate sacrifice. It is one of the greatest things you can ever do for someone else, to put your own life on hold so you can care for theirs. And here's the hard part. That invisibility can tempt you to lead into shortcuts or to stop caring as much. But it's not always bitterness. Sometimes it's a trauma response. When you've carried too much for too long, it's easy to slip into autopilot. You go through the motions, you take the path of least resistance, you stop feeling the weight of the work because feeling it every day would break you. But if you stay in that place too long, you start to forget your why. And when you forget your why, the work loses its meaning. That's when you have to pause, recenter, and remind yourself why you chose this calling in the first place. So let me pause and ask you, what is your why? Maybe it's the memory of a funeral director who cared for your family once. Maybe it's the chance to give dignity to someone who can't speak for themselves. Maybe it's simply because you believe death deserves respect. We all have a story. For me, my story includes loss too. When I was in high school, my cousin Marcus took his own life, and I still remember getting the phone call. I remember the stages of grief hitting me one by one, like waves. I just didn't know how to swim through them. I had never known loss like that before. I had never felt grief that personal or that disorienting. And it's a part of why I understand this work the way I do, because I know what it's like to be the family on the other side. I know what it's like to feel that you want answers, to want dignity, to need someone to guide you through when you can't see straight. And here's the thing about life. We think we have it figured out, and then fate steps in. I didn't plan to be a funeral director. This wasn't the plan I thought I'd take, but somehow, through loss and through life, I ended up exactly where I was supposed to be. Some of you may feel the same way. Maybe you've always known you wanted to do this, or maybe you're like me and you didn't see it coming. But here you are. And I believe you're here because you're meant to be. So I jokingly started the speech by saying that I thought Dr. Lease had the wrong number, but at the end of the day, I think I was meant to be here, to stand here and hug you, cry with you, be here with you, because I was meant to be, just like you're meant to be here too. So thank you for having me here as your keynote speaker. And if we can give a round of applause for class of 2025, I'm really proud of you.
Thank you, Lauren. Lauren, if you'd please stand at this point. Mrs. Latchko, would you stand as well? Recognizing you as our keynote speaker today at this 171st commencement, we are going to bestow this plaque upon you, and I will read its inscription to everyone. At the top, there's a quote that says, "Nothing influences people more than a recommendation from a trusted friend." Lauren the Mortician, in honor and appreciation for advancing and advocating the funeral service profession with a contemporary message and an innovative style, we appreciate your pioneering spirit and would like to express our sincere gratitude for delivering the inspirational message, influencing death, integrity after last breath. To our graduates and all of those in attendance as the keynote speaker at this 171st commencement of the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science, presented on this 5th day of September in the year 2025. Lauren, thank you, and we off. Next, Mr. Nicholas Ritchie, we invite to the dais. Mr. Ritchie, you will lead us in the funeral service oath.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Dr. Lease mentioned, my name is Nicholas Ritchie. I am a full-time faculty member here at the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science. It is truly an honor to administer this oath at the graduation ceremonies. And in particular, I feel that this one is so very relevant and fitting. In a number of classes, I talked about ethics, legal matters, and funeral service. And one of the things that drove the discussion in the last few months was an HBO documentary series that was released in June titled The Mortician. Many of you probably heard of it. Some of you probably watched it, myself being one of them. Within 3 weeks, it became HBO's most watched documentary in over 5 years. The series amassed 2.6 million viewers in the United States. 2.6 million people heard the remarks of David Sconce and his funeral service ideals, which included, "I do not put any value in anyone after they are gone and dead. It is a misdemeanor, and nobody cares about these people anyway. People just have to be more in control of their emotions because that's not your loved one anymore." Folks, this oath is so important that we take at graduation. it is important to never lose sense of the why that got you here and the dignity that every decedent deserves. These ideals that were shared through HBO cast a dark cloud over our profession. So every funeral professional that is here today, our graduates and our licensed people as well, please let these words sink in. Hear them, and do not lose sight of the why that got you here. An oath is a solemn calling upon God to witness the truth of what one says, an attestation of sincerity of what one intends to do, a ceremonial testimony of the invoidability of one's words. Oaths are important, and I ask, as you repeat these words today, let your servant's heart and this oath be the blueprint of your calling and your why in funeral service. At this time, I ask our graduates, please stand. I also invite our President and CEO, Dr. Barry Leese, to bear the PIMS mace at attention while we administer this oath. And lastly, I invite all of our licensed funeral directors who are here today to also stand and renew your oath with our graduates. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me the words that can be found in your program or on the cards for our graduates. I do solemnly swear by that which I hold most sacred that I shall be loyal to the funeral service profession and just and generous to its members. That I shall lead my life and practice my art in uprightness and honor. That into whatsoever house I shall enter, it shall be for the benefit and comfort of those bereaved. That I shall not let the constant relationship and familiarity with death give me cause to yield to carelessness. Or to violate any obligation to society or to the dignity of our profession. That I shall abstain from every voluntary act of misconduct or corruption. That I shall obey the civil laws. That I shall not divulge professional confidences. And that I shall be faithful to those who have placed their trust in me. While I continue to keep this oath unviolated. May it be granted to me to enjoy honor in my life and in my profession. And may I be respected by all people for all time. Thank you. You may now be seated. Please take those words to heart.
Thank you, Mr. Ritchie. The gentleman, if I may use that word, that was featured in the HBO series took that oath too, as it is custom at all mortuary school graduations. Let's burn the fat off our souls and mean it. Because there was nothing good about that story. We can do better. We are better. So please, thank you, Mr. Ritchie, for that powerful lesson. At this time, I would like to invite Dean Michael Burns to present the class.
Thank you, Dr. Lees. You made it. It went so fast. I recently read an article about how fast our profession is changing. The author suggested that AI could one day handle much of what we do: writing obituaries, preparing contracts, managing merchandise, even embalming with perfectly calculated formulas for each individual based on their case analysis. They even claimed restorative art might be done faster and more accurately with a 3D printer. According to this perspective, the funeral profession might be in trouble. Clearly, the author never met a real funeral director. Technology may make parts of our work easier, but there's one thing no machine can ever replicate: our compassion, our empathy, and the human heart we bring to every family we serve. You came to PIMS already carrying that gift. Here, we have helped it grow and flourish, taking something that was already in your heart and nurturing it so that it now runs through every molecule of your soul. Even if you no longer spend 18 hours perfecting a certain single feature, you will spend your time with what truly matters, the heart of what we do, offering sincere, compassionate care every single day. That is the essence of our calling, and it is something that no technology can ever replace. Never forget that. Carry it with you and will guide every step of your career. At this time, we're going to present the diplomas and degrees to our graduates. So I ask Dr. Lees and Mrs. Alashko to please step forward. Our first group are the diplomas in embalming and funeral directing. The following students will receive a diploma today: June Dicken, Ashley Nicole Ferrone, Nicholas James Graziano, Christine M. Perrin, Sherelle Littell Valentine, Chase Dakota Leonard, Now for those who have received an associate in specialized technology degree in funeral service arts and sciences. First, Madeline Elizabeth Ash, Jason M. Bages, Kylie Rose Beitzel, McKenna Main Burchin. Thorian C. Bowman. Jenna K. Bruger. Elijah Dilly. Adam Lloyd Dimmick. Francesca Nicole Hubbard. Lainey Ann Keel. Madison Grace Kita. Emily Lynn Knudsen. Alyssa Jane Koski. Mia L. Mariani. Nicholas J. Madison. Jamie Michelle McCready. Jessica Laura Miller. Ruth Emmeline Laverne Neighbor. Jamie Christopher Piper. Sadly, Jamie died this last June 1st at the age of 40. He had completed the entire program at PIMS and was expected to join us today. He will be awarded a memorial degree, which we will send to his wife, Hannah. Please pause for a moment of silence for Jamie. Thank you. Emma Alice Ramey. Ashlyn Sabella. Sarah Schwenk. Nathan Wayne Sheldon. Eve Lauren Wable. Tamara M. Watkins. Brenton K. Williams. Nathan Ziros. The following students will receive an associate specialized business degree in funeral service management. Sabrina Elizabeth Aiken. Cole Elkin Lexile. Carly Escom. Kira Cecile Farron. Arya N. Gavaria. Haven Jade Christine Hancox. Kaylee Mae Johns. Jamie Lynn Lord. Ryan Elizabeth Malavik. Carmen Neal. Today, we are also proud to recognize several students who will be receiving their bachelor's degrees through a special consortium program with our partner colleges and universities. These students have devoted 3 years to their studies at these institutions and then have completed their final year here at PIMS, bringing their academic journey to a successful conclusion. The director of Mortuary Science program for the Gannon University could not be here, so I'm going to ask Dr. Barry Lease to please step forward and present these degrees. The following students will be receiving their bachelor's degree in Mortuary Science from Gannon University. Madeline Ash. And Emma Ramey. The director of Mortuary Science program from Penn West University of California could not be here as well, so I'm going to ask Dr. Barry Lease to please step forward and present these degrees. The following students will be receiving their bachelor's degree in Mortuary Science from Penn West, California. Madison Kita. And Eve Wable. If I may have Dr. Mark Marnich, Professor of Mathematics and Director of the Mortuary Science Program at Point Park University, please step forward. The following students will be receiving their bachelor's degree in funeral service from Point Park. Kylie Beitzel. Francesca Hubbard. Mia Mariani. Michelle McCready. Jessica Miller. Ruth Neighbor. Ashlyn Sabella. And Nathan Ziros. Thank you, Dr. Monich. At this time, I'm going to ask all students receiving a diploma, associate degree, or bachelor's degree to please rise. At this time, you are invited to move your tassels from the right side to the left side of your cap, symbolizing official conferral of your degree. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, it is my profound honor and privilege to present to you the graduates of the 171st Commencement of the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science. Thank you. You may be seated. That was my favorite part of the ceremony, but this next part's pretty good too. I get to announce the awards. So if Dr. Leese and Mrs. Latchko will please again step forward. The first award is the Memorial Award for campus and distance education students. Be it known that this Memorial Award was established to commemorate the contributions made by the alumni, students, and faculty of the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science in the service of their country. There will be 2 awards, one for a distance education and one for a campus student. The distance education recipient, who has been chosen by the distance education faculty of the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science as the graduate who, through qualities of leadership, professional conduct, and good citizenship, best illustrated their ideals. It is hereby awarded this 5th day of September 2025 to Lainey Ann Keel. The campus recipient, who's been chosen by his or her classmates as the graduate through qualities of leadership, professional conduct, and good citizenship, best characterized their ideals, is hereby awarded this 5th day of September 2025 to Brenton Williams. These awards include a check for $250 from the PIMS Board of Directors for each recipient. The Kelco Supply Company Restorative Art Award. If Michael Berner, representative of Kelco, will please step forward to present this award. The Kelco Supply Company Restorative Art Award. Be it known that this award was established to honor exceptional ability, dedication, commitment, and achievement in the disciplines of restorative art and cosmetology. Upon the recommendation of the clinical faculty of the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science, and in recognition of distinguished merit in these areas, this award is hereby presented this 5th day of September 2025 to Madison Kita. This award includes a plaque from the Kelco Supply Company and a gift certificate for $500 towards Kelco products. Thank you, Mr. Berner. The CORE Award. T.J. Roser, the Funeral Director, Coroner Liaison from CORE, the Center for Organ Recovery and Education, will please step us and join us. The Center for Organ Recovery and Education, CORE, has established a Pledge for Life Scholarship Fund and awards a scholarship to one student who's enrolled in the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science who can demonstrate that they will make an impact in the field of organ, tissue, and cornea recovery. The scholarship is funded through CORE's Partnership Strategies Committee by delegating funds given in memory or in honor of an organ, tissue, or cornea donor or transplant recipient. With over 123,000 people waiting for life-saving transplant and many more in need of tissue and corneas, this scholarship will help develop professionals who can make a difference in these people's lives. It is hereby awarded this 5th day of September 2025 to Alyssa Koski. This award includes a check from CORE for $500. The Ohio Funeral Directors Award Association. And Mr. Charles Wilson, President of the Ohio Funeral Directors Association, will present this award. The Ohio Funeral Directors Association Award. Be it known that this award is presented as a symbol of leadership in the field of professional mortuary science education. This grant is intended to support the recipient in furthering their knowledge and expanding learning opportunities through the state of Ohio. In recognition of these ideals, this award is hereby presented this 5th day of September 2025 to Haven Hancocks. This award includes a $500 gift certificate that can be used for any OFDA-hosted educational offering over a 5-year period. The Champion Award for Mortuary Science Excellence. Unfortunately, Champion cannot join us today, but if Ms. Chelsea Cush will please step forward to present the award. The Champion Award for Mortuary Science Excellence. Be it known that this award, established as a criteria-based recognition of merit, bears the namesake of a company committed not only to providing state-of-the-art chemicals and products, but also, as expressed in the credo of its ever-expanding encyclopedia, to being dedicated to the furtherance of knowledge and education for the funeral service profession. This award is presented to the student recognized by the science faculty of the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science for demonstrating outstanding scholarship, aptitude, attitude, and practical skill in the core science components of the curriculum. In acknowledgement of these achievements, this award is hereby presented this 5th day of September 2025 to Nicholas Graziano. This award includes an engraved plaque and credit with the Champion Company for $500. The William J. Massimento Memorial Award. The William J. Massimento Memorial Award, be it known that this award was established to recognize outstanding ability, dedication, commitment, and achievement in the clinical embalming laboratory practicum. Upon the recommendation of the clinical faculty of the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science, and in acknowledgement of the recipient's highest standards of decorum, professionalism, and demonstrated skill in the practice of clinical embalming, this award is hereby presented to the 5th day of September 2025 to, and I think you know, Jason Bages. This award includes an embalming kit provided by Mr. Wayne Irvine, a graduate of PIMS who also won this award, and a $500 check provided by the PIMS Board of Directors. That's his kit. John Riebel and Allegheny County Funeral Directors Association Award. Dr. Barry Leese will present the John Rebel Award, and Jesse Turquato, President of the ACFDA, and Ashley Urlakis, Executive Director of the ACFDA, will please come forward. Be it known that this award was established as a distinction of merit in recognition of the highest level of academic scholastic performance across all branches of the curriculum at the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science. Based upon collective judgment of the faculty of PIMS, this honor is awarded to one campus student whose dedication to scholarship reflects the ideals of excellence set forth by this award. In addition, the Allegheny County Funeral Directors Association extends its own recognition in its acknowledgement of this same achievement. On this 5th day of September 2025, the award is hereby presented to Ashlyn Sabella. This award includes a check from the ACFDA for $250 and a check for $500 from the PIMS Board of Directors. The William and Brenda Spence Award. If Mr. William Spence and Mrs. Brenda Spence will please step forward. Be it known that this award was established as a distinction of merit in recognition of first-generation funeral director and resident of Pennsylvania who demonstrated exceptional dedication to education, service-minded leadership, and a strong commitment to helping others. In acknowledgement of these qualities and honor of the values represented by this award, it is hereby presented on the 5th day of September, 2025, to Francesca Hubbard. This award includes a check for $1,000 from William and Brenda Spence. The Eugene C. Grodnick Entrepreneurial Award. Mr. Grodnick, President Emeritus, please step forward. Be it known that this criteria-based award of merit is presented in honor of Eugene C. Grodnick, whose passion for education, visionary leadership, and business acumen established the enduring legacy of Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science while shaping the future of funeral service profession. In keeping with his example, this award is presented to the student recognized by the core business faculty of the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science as having demonstrated stewardship, scholarship, leadership, and the entrepreneurial spirit with the greatest potential to impact funeral service at large. It is hereby presented this 5th day of September, 2025, to Jenna Bruger. This award includes a check for $500 from the PIMS Board of Directors and is matched by Mr. Grodnick and his wife Karen in the amount of $500 for a total of $1,000. The last honor I'm going to announce is the Mu Sigma Award. I'm going to call the students up front first and then read the criteria. Ashlyn Sabella. Francesca Hubbard. Jenna Bruger. Brenton Williams. The Mu Sigma Alpha Honorary Society Award. Be it known that the National Association of Colleges of Mortuary Science has established this honorary society to recognize students of mortuary science who've demonstrated outstanding scholarship and have conducted themselves as exemplary citizens of the schools. Recipients of this distinction have been carefully selected by the faculty and represent the top 10% of the graduating class. The name of the society, Mu Sigma Alpha, signifies excellence in mortuary science. The symbols engraved on the key reflect the values honored by this award. An open book representing knowledge and wisdom freely available to all. A spray of laurel symbolizing achievement. A lighted lamp representing scholarship, diligence, and perseverance. And the word award, denoting the purpose of this distinction, to honor those who have qualified and been chosen. In addition, this distinction includes a $1,000 recognition check for each of them from the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science Board of Directors, commemorating this prestigious honor. Cherish this award as a testament to your accomplishments during your time at PIMS, and as a reflection of our confidence that, as you enter the profession, you will uphold the high standards of exemplary conduct that have so distinguished you as a student. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Burns. Appreciate that. At this time in our program, we let you speak, and I'm going to invite to deliver some closing remarks to her classmates at the 171st Commencement Exercises, Madeline Ash. Please come to the dais.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Madeline, and it's an honor and a privilege to speak in front of all of you today. First and foremost, thank you for being here. Thank you to our families, our friends, our instructors, and every single person who has stood beside us as we walk through this long and sometimes difficult road. We are here today not just as graduates, but as future funeral directors, called to serve, to guide, to comfort, and to care. This program wasn't easy, let's be honest. We've had our fair share of sleepless nights, memorized far more anatomy than we ever thought we needed, and spent long hours learning restorative art techniques that made us question if we suddenly had entered an art school. We've learned about death, yes, but more importantly, we've learned about life, about love, about resilience, about showing up in the hardest moments when others can't. We've learned to carry grief with grace, to walk in sorrow with compassion, and somehow, through the darkness, we've discovered our own light. We didn't choose this profession because it was glamorous. We chose it because it meant something, because we were called not just to work, but to serve. This calling requires more than just knowledge. It demands heart, a servant's heart. And through these past months and years, that's what we've built together. We've become more than just classmates. We've become a family. Together, we've sat through lectures, shared study guides, stress snacked before exams, and maybe cried in our cars more than once. We've also laughed until our sides hurt, celebrated each other's victories, and supported one another in a way that only people who truly understand the weight of this work can. To our incredible teachers, thank you. Thank you for believing in us when we didn't believe in ourselves, for teaching us not only the science and the standards, but the sacredness of this work. You didn't just educate us. You mentored us, challenged us, and inspired us. To our families and friends, thank you for your patience, for your understanding when we couldn't come to dinner, or missed a birthday because we were embalming or prepping for an exam. Thank you for holding a space in our passion when you didn't always understand it. We wouldn't be standing here without you. And to my classmates, my friends, look at us. Look at what we've done. We should be so proud. We chose one of the most emotionally demanding careers imaginable, and we made it. There's a quote by Thomas Lynch, a funeral director and poet. A good funeral gets the dead where they need to go, and the living where they need to be. That's our purpose. That's the sacred responsibility we now carry to care for the dead with dignity and to guide the living with compassion. What a beautiful, painful, extraordinary privilege we've been given. So as we step forward into this next chapter, never forget the weight of what we do, the honor that comes with it. Never forget the friendships we've made here, and the mentors who have shaped us, and the courage it took to get to this moment. And finally, before I go, I'd like to leave you with one last reminder. As we embark on our careers, take on our first cases, our first removals, our first arrangements, let us hold on to all that we have learned, and if there's one rule we can all agree on, no matter how complex the case may be, or as Dean Burns always says, always, always make sure the body is clean, firm, and dry. Congratulations, Class 171, we did it.
Thank you, Madeline. Thank you very much. It's a tradition that at the commencement exercises of the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science that we sing together, America the Beautiful. So I'm going to invite Francesca Hubbard to the dais as she will lead us in song. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand, if you would, for the rendering of this hymn, and sing together as the words can be found in your program. Francesca.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plains. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Please be seated, everyone. We are approaching the conclusion of our ceremony, and before I officially bring this to a conclusion, just a couple announcements real quick. There are probably some people in the church here today. They're looking and they're saying, there's a dog at this graduation. Who is this dog? How did they bring a dog into church? Well, if you haven't read the program, the dog is Winnie Valentine, who is our new employee. There's her mom right there, Annie Cerruti, and she is a comfort pup. She is now an AKC Good Citizen, as she just passed her test last week because she learned her stay. And she's going to learn about 15 to 20 comfort commands over the next year to help PIMS students with the rigors of business law or accounting or funeral law. Notice how I picked on all Mr. Ritchie's courses, you know. And she will be there to comfort you. And so I just wanted everybody to know what she is all about. She will eventually be a vested comfort dog someday. It's a thing we kind of work with Miss Cerruti, her mom, and she'll be part of leading us out today, too, along with the Mace Bear. So that's Winifred Valentine, in case you were wondering. Also, the other point I wanted to bring to everyone's attention is this is the first graduation ceremony that the Institute graduates ever wore sky or light blue in honor of education. That is the color of education, light blue. And we chose it as a harkening back to we brought our retro logo back from 1939. Mr. Gronick, you weren't there in 1939, correct? You were not, okay? But he's been here. Those of us who know Mr. Gronick, he's been here, was with PIMS a long time, and a lot of what we are today is because of him. But that was the original logo in 1939. We put a couple pops of color into it, and so there you see the color you're wearing, or we got as close as we could. So I wanted to kind of just mention those little fun facts about this 171st commencement exercise. So we bring ourselves to the culmination of the ceremony with the awarding of the Mace Bear. You saw me bring the mace in. You saw me hold the mace for the bestowing of the oath. But this is how we conclude the ceremony. The recipient of the Stephen Pavlik Robert Inman Mace Bearers Award. The Stephen Pavlik Robert Inman Mace Bearers Award was established by the decree of the PIMS Board of Directors as the highest honor bestowed upon just one student. At each commencement exercise, who, in the opinion of the faculty, staff, administration, and with the endorsement of the PIMS Board of Directors, is truly considered to be the best of the best. In the legacy of the two great men bearing the namesake of this most esteemed award, this student has profoundly impacted our institution, serving as the embodiment of the values we hold dear: commitment, compassion, integrity, leadership, scholarly excellence, and the servant's heart. The future endeavors in the funeral service profession of this individual, following in the footsteps of Mr. Pavlik and the late Mr. Inman, are certain to be just as distinguished as those they preceded. Accordingly, in recognition of the remarkable standard set by this one individual, on behalf of the Institute, I have the privilege of presenting them a medallion, like I am wearing, bearing the official school seal. Additionally, as president of the Institute, I am honored to lead the ceremony carrying the official mace. However, as perhaps the highest honor for the recipient of this award, I confer that privilege, bearing the PIMS official mace, to this one individual for today only, thereby allowing them to ceremonially lead their classmates into the future of funeral service as we conclude this 171st commencement exercise. It is with great pride and admiration that on this 5th day of September, 2025, this most prestigious award is presented to Brenton Williams. Brenton. Brenton, your dedication and exemplary performance have earned you this honor, and we celebrate your success today. Please join me, as we've done, congratulating Brenton in the spirit of the late Mr. Pavlik and Mr. Inman, who bestowed the Institute with these generous endowments. Brenton will also be bequeathed a $1,500 check from these endowments as an acknowledgement of his exceptional achievements. At this time, I will provide Brenton with the ceremonial gloves that carry the mace. I will place the medallion on his neck. Then I will put the mace in his hands to lead us out from this graduation. And now this concludes the 171st commencement exercises of Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science. Make us proud.